There you are again. Good morning. I decided I was going to start my videos with a prayer. So, if you don't like prayers, you could just skip ahead, but I think I need to say a prayer at the beginning to keep me in focus. So, bear with me a moment. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to make a video. Please bless me that I'll have thy spirit to be with me, that I'll say the things that are the right things to say and not say the things that are the wrong things to say. And bless me that I might inspire someone with creative thoughts or with hope. And bless us as we deal with this Omicron pandemic, that we will be safe and that our loved ones will be safe. And bless us with solutions to it. And I'd like to ask thee to help me to do some of the things that I need to do, like this tap in the bathtubs and the shower, the turning handle thing. And thank you for being with us, and thank you for thy spirit, and thank you for all the things that thou hast done for us, and especially for Jesus Christ and the gospel. And these things we pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Oh, nobody's there, but there's a thumbs up. Good morning. So, now we're having a visit. I took my painting of the Savior downstairs because I'm not up here very often. But it's a lot better in here now. Look at, you can see the whole room. I mean, it's oh, hi, Susan. Now it says nobody's here. 0. Interesting. So I guess that doesn't, those numbers are not really that. Now it says 1. Now it knows you're here. Is it hard to get back on when I cut it off like that? Where do you go to get back on? My channel? Maybe it just starts. I guess that would work. Yeah. On the television, I have a smart TV, right? And so I look at that and it says live sometimes, and you can join live things just by watching it, right? And I guess it's the same on your handheld device. You must be using some sort of either a laptop or a phone, otherwise you couldn't be typing it in. Oh, you just refreshed it. That's a good idea. I'll have to tell people to do that when I do such bold things as turn it off and on. I've kind of been running these things together, all these videos. So what do you think of this room? What do you think of these plants? Isn't that nice? I think they will like it there. And I'm going to put the other ones together. The ones I did the other day, the potatoes, those are downstairs in the living room. And I've got a piece of cardboard over the top of the whole thing because I think potatoes really like it to be dark. But there's no soil in there. It's just leaves and... Thanks. It's just leaves and straw in that one. So I'm going to have to get some soil. I have my worm manure and my worm... I put worms in those. I should put worms in these up here too. I wonder how many worms I've got. It's not the most fun thing to open the container and look. They don't like onions. And so all these onion skins have to go out on the garden out there. That's the flower garden where I throw them and the orange peels. Now orange peels you can do stuff with. You can put them in a bowl or on the stove and dot, 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 dot. Or is it blah, blah, blah? My eyes are still kind of a mess. So that house in my dream was very interesting. This woman had 10 children, and there were 10 more on the other side of the house, the other half of the house. And her husband was an architect. So this house was kind of like, it almost seemed like you were inside of a stone or something. The roof was curved, and there was a stuffy hanging. I guess that was a children's a girl's bedroom or area or something. It didn't seem to be a lot of walls. Maybe it was a lot bigger than I saw. I think from the outside it was very big when we got there. Very, very big. And you know, I was trying to leave and find my shoes, and this lady I know was with us. I don't know how she got there because she's totally different. And she said, "So what are we having for dinner?" And I said, "What? Dinner? I don't plan. Just look and see what there is." But it wasn't my house. "Oh, just lay them on top." "Oh, that's so much easier." Ha, I can do that. I have lots of orange peels. Of course, they might catch fire. I was thinking of having a cook stove instead of our beautiful wood stove. Put a cook stove there. But it would have to be very airtight and good at heating. I said to Willem, I said, when we replace our wood stove, it would be good to get a cook stove. And he said, replace our wood stove? Why would we do that? Because in our minds it's brand new. But it's probably like 15 years old now. Yeah. I mean, not that that's old. Wood stoves. It's airtight. But the technology is improving all the time. Wouldn't it be cool if I had a cook stove there? I couldn't put one in the kitchen. There's no place else that it would fit. But I could put it right there. I also need to have to replace the floor in there. The new code is to have cement board down first. And then I'd like to tile it, but every time we put our wood on it, the tiles break. We drop the wood from great heights is the reason. So it's now mostly coming off. So I think it's time to do something about it. Good morning, Tammy Lamoureux. Temmie. Are you a woman or a man? Temmie. I don't know that name, that word. What languages or what country does that come from? It's interesting. When I was having kids, or maybe when a little bit after I was having kids, people were all coming up with unusual names, or not unusual, but names that I was not familiar with. I think they made up a lot of names. Do you know how salesmen would sell wood stove years and years ago? No, how did they do it? Was I making soup? Yes, I made soup. It's so it'll be squash and onion and cabbage. Timmy. Oh, Timmy. Yes. Oh, you're a Cherokee. Oh, are you Cherokee? Or is just your name Cherokee? I love the baskets that the indigenous people made. The native people. What do you call yourselves? That the Cherokees made. I like the baskets the Cherokees made. They made one out of pine bark, which I bought in that Cherokee place in Georgia, with tiny little cast iron samples. Is that right? Salagi. Salagi? That's really cool. That's really cool. I admire your people. I admire people that could live off the land. I think that the Indians or the natives or the indigenous people or the First Nations or whatever people are calling themselves now. But they lived without stores, and they did it. They didn't need stores. They had it all. Salaji. Oh, you have one of those samples, Susan. How cool. I bet they're still around. I mean, how do you get rid of them? Unless you bury them in a landfill, they're going to be lasting, aren't they? That's cool. I used to like the, what's the name of that? The kind of cook stove. I had one for a while. It's small. It was white, and it was just the bottom half. It was about the size of a stove. It was white. It had an oven. It didn't have a water reservoir. Water. What's it called? Is that what it's called? A water reservoir? Does your little tiny one have a water reservoir on it? Something Finlayson. Ole Finlayson was a kind of stove. I don't know. I would like that. Yes, Timmy, how are you today? And where do you live? Did you stay in North Georgia and the Carolinas, or did your people go on the Trail of Tears and end up in Oklahoma? You're in upstate New York, are you? Wow. Is it cold there? -26 here in Ontario. Upstate New York, you're probably about maybe 3 hours south of me. But I'm near Ottawa. You know where Ottawa is? Named after the Ottawa Indians or natives or whatever they call themselves now. There's the Madagascar River, and there's the Mississauga River Lake. 10 degrees. That's Fahrenheit, right? We're having a cold spell. Well, at least the season didn't completely forget to have a season, and it must be a sunny day there too, right? I love it when the sun shines. Oh, look, it's coming up. Can you see it there? Just a little bit, right, coming over the hill. Yay. I was thinking, why did I go out on those very cold days? When it was -20, I would always go for a walk out there when I take the kids to the bus, and then I would go for a walk. And I thought, why did I do that? But it's probably because it was sunny. What do you mean you paid for the lives lost in that fire? I don't understand what you mean. You paid for it. Wait a minute, was that Timmy who just said that? An Arctic blast. Oh, Susan paid for the livestock. What does that mean that you paid for it? Oh, you prayed for them. Great. Yes. Pray for the survivors, especially the ones that feel guilty about why they lived and others didn't. That was a lot of people got stuck in a fire. Who wants to be stuck in a fire? I thought if I rolled my hair up on my head, that it wouldn't need to be brushed. I don't like brushing it anymore because it wrecks it. It makes it shorter. Every time I brush it, I lose so many bits. I also was thinking, should I put my hair, like I've always worn my hair with the clips up here. That's the way I've always done it. But my hair is getting thin now that I'm 66. Oh, that's right. They said there was a lot of immigrants. What part of Africa are the immigrants coming from there? There was a lot here from Somalia for a few years. They call Ottawa the capital of Somalia. You should be wearing glasses. Ah, yes, I understand. I can't do things without my glasses anymore. You know what? I have an idea for the shower. In the shower, before you braid it, then you can be tangle-free. Oh, if you braid it, then you can be tangle-free too. Well, I don't like braiding it because then the ends are very straight and they look weird. 9 children were killed in the fire, eh? That's sad. So sad. And it probably just started from a regular cooking fire, right? A cooking, something on the burner too long or something. Oh, I was going to tell you, have an idea for when you don't have your glasses on in the shower. 10 adults. Isn't that awful? A space heater. Yeah, you're really trapped in there, eh? It shows the danger of high rises. You know, everything is danger free now. Like, you've got to wear helmets if you ride your bicycle. You know, they don't have merry-go-rounds anymore. Excuse me. Everything is so safety conscious, and yet high rises are not that safe. There's no good way to ventilate staircases. They should have an automatic system that opens on the roof if the staircase gets smoke in it. Should have an oh, thank you. You should have an automatic thing that opens and turns on fans and ventilates immediately in the staircase. That should be law. Every layer, every level. When the fire alarm goes off, well, the sprinkler system should cut in too. How come, what happened with that? Did the sprinkler work? But they should have, like I saw windows broken. Trouble with windows is, and the oxygen is you let in air, which then causes the fire to get bigger. But there's nothing to burn in a staircase, so the fire is not generally there. And smoke rises. And it was a big place. It's surprising that more people didn't die, actually. More people weren't caught in staircases and in... Well, anyway, it's very sad. So, I was going to tell you about in the shower, when you don't have your glasses on. Yes, a fireproof chute. The door didn't shut. Oh. Yes, God bless us all. Anyway, this other conversation I'm having. If you don't have your glasses on and you're in the shower, you can't tell the difference in the name on the containers, whether it's shampoo or conditioner. And so I've decided to take my marker and put a big S on the shampoo and a big C on the conditioner so that I can see them in the shower without my glasses. I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that can't see without their glasses. So the door was left open. Was that in the house, in the apartment, or to the outside? I like the idea of a chute from every floor. Ah, are you on my conversation or the other conversation? You agree? Yes, because people that can't see without their glasses can't see in the bathroom. And they need all those things to be able to know what they are. And lotion, like I brought home all these little containers. Oh, you were going to do that too? Well, do it now. That's a good idea. Should probably just keep a marker in the bathroom. As long as you don't have grandchildren that might decide to color on the walls. Well, you could put them in order, but you know, that things change quickly. You can reach for something and the other ones can fall. I guess people do it in order. I took some to the pool. We try and go swimming at the indoor pool. Another apartment door was open. So often when a fire happens, the doors automatically shut. Oh, that's what you do? You line them up in order? It's a good idea. See this bunch of stuff right there? That is, those are dandelion stems. And I'm going to weave with them. Yes, you see, a 20-year-old. Yes, nothing would be in order at all. I hope the 20-year-old is not busy telling you all of your faults. Those are hard times, you know. You choose your husband. You choose somebody that will treat you nicely and that will love you. Sometimes you're wrong and you have to live with the consequences. But no matter how nice your husband is to you, your children still start to see your faults. Ship up or shape up or ship out. Shape up or ship out. Who said that? Was it my father that used to say that to me? Shape up or ship out? Somebody said it to someone. Uh-oh. It's all gone. Now what do? Hey, I have more upstairs. I could turn it on in the bathroom. Then I'd have to get up. Good. I'm glad he's a good son. My kids have turned into nice people now that they're grown up. Only one of them still finds fault with everything I do. I tried to watch the news last night, and the news is saying the same thing it always said. Like for 2 years or 2 years, I guess. It's not quite 2 years. They're talking about this is the third year. A tornado. Yeah, I'm not organized. Yeah, it's important to be a nice person, isn't it? If they're nice people, you can handle them. I'm always thinking, oh, I should let somebody live here. We have this whole upstairs. But I love my upstairs. And when the grandchildren come, like Desmond was naughty the other day, and I sent him to his room. I said, you go to your room right now. And I'm so glad that he has a bedroom here I could send him to. Just like old times when he was little. We'll let him come out pretty soon afterwards. I love it when they're here. Grandchildren are so fun. Boy, they're little tornadoes, though. And I realized what happens when they're here. I never really figured it out, but Desmond is... Hi, I'm upstairs. I'm upstairs. I did the wood stove. What did you say? Yes, it is hard to Yes. So you're rearranging, are you, Timmy? So, Timmy, do you have long black hair and braid it? And are you a basket maker? What do you still have from your culture? Do you have much from it? Here, they had this Indian residential school system, and it went until the 90s, I think. It was 1990 when they stopped it. It was a horrible system. They took the children away from their families and didn't ever let them go back. They didn't go back in the summers. They kept them, and they wanted them to forget their families. And they tried to beat the language out of them. They wouldn't let them speak their language. They made them learn English. And they wouldn't let them have their religion. They had to be Christian. I mean, how unchristian is that? How unchristian a thing to do. Anyway, and it went right up until the 90s. Unbelievable. And so there's all these people they've been traumatized. I cut it when my twin died. What do you mean black and white? In, what was that you said? In 9/8/20. I'm sorry you had a twin that died. It's really, twins are very close. Oh, black and white, gray hairs, yes. Some very old beaded Native American necklaces. My father bought me a little Indian doll when I was very young. I think it was when I went to camp in Pennsylvania or in Delaware. There was this camp I went to. Yes, and were you living together at the time, or did she have her own family? Yeah, that's hard. It's hard. I'm glad that I know what happens when we die. So death doesn't worry me. It's just the opening of another. Ah, you weave. I weave too. What kind of weaving do you do? Like on a loom or baskets? It's interesting. Some people weave and add beads as they're weaving. Oh, it's a man. Now, are you a woman or a man? Timmy. I could ask my Google device. Oh, finger weaving. Interesting. What is finger weaving? You'll have to show us. I guess you can't show us on here. You'll have to tell us on here. That's very cool. So what sort of things do you weave? Oops. Oh, good morning, Diane from Connecticut. I'm glad everybody, if you say where you're from, that's really helpful because I will remember your name and your place. Diane from Connecticut. What part of Connecticut are you from? My family is from northwestern Connecticut, right at the New York border. My mother met my dad in Millerton, New York, at the old diner. It's a silver tube kind of a diner. And that's where they were years ago. Been a long time. So how is it over there, Diane? Oh, belts. Yes, making belts. Good idea. So Diane, there's 3 of us on right now. Well, it looks like there's 5, but Susan is in Wisconsin, and she's rearranging. And Temmie is a Cherokee. It's Timmy, Timee is how it's pronounced. She's in upstate New York, and we were discussing the fire and how terrible that was. It was an apartment fire that the smoke killed lots of people in the stairwell. And anyway, we were discussing how apartment buildings should be built so that this wouldn't happen. Escape chutes from the stairwells is a really good idea. And Timmy is rearranging too, and I have been rearranging. I've been trying to set up my garden here. I'm in the upper room, and these orange containers are the garden beds. Those haven't got anything in them yet. They have reservoirs. Oops, what did you say? And we also have very cold weather. So it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit in New York, upstate New York, where Timmy is, and it's negative 26 Fahrenheit here, which is, I don't know, 0 Celsius is negative 22 Fahrenheit. So 4 degrees below 0, but it's probably more than 4, probably like 8. Anyway, who knows? It's cold. And Susan, you didn't say what it is. It's 10 up from 2. Oh, isn't that good? It's 11 in Connecticut, warmed up from 8. Oh, I don't know what it is here now. You're 3 below. It's a cold snap. Interesting how we're each affected by the same Arctic stuff. They don't call it Canadian air mass here. They call it an Arctic because here we're in Canada. And actually the Arctic is also in Canada. So it's just Canadian weather. I like it when it gets cold, really cold. It's dry. It doesn't hurt your bones. If you wear 2 pairs of mittens, 2 hats, and long johns. I've always got on my long johns. Red long johns. They're from Mary, my cousin in Connecticut. Oh yes, Diane. Did you ever tell me what part of Connecticut you're from? It's a whole different ball game in the east than in the west. The west is in the Berkshire Mountains, And the Appalachian Trail runs right through my cousin's backyard. A polar vortex coming down. Isn't that interesting So how come the polar vortex didn't used to shift? What is it different now? Everything's different now. Did you ever watch the movie The Day After Tomorrow? And that was, I remember at the very beginning of the movie there was hail this big, and it was falling in Japan or something, and that was the beginning of this. It was like a polar vortex that covered all of North America and instantly froze everything. And these people were all huddled up in a library in New York. And they were, oh, you saw that, eh? And they were burning books to stay warm and burning all the furniture in the library. They didn't, I mean, they had a fire, must have had a fireplace in there. But anyway, they were, their dad got to them, but I don't know how that rescued them. He was just there with them too. I think he had come up from Washington, D.C. He was trying to warn everybody that, you know, they had to go south. Everybody, quick, 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 you have to go south, 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 south. And so they set up the capital of the United States was now in the in Mexico, in the, what's the name of that place where everybody has to go to get their passports? There's every country in the world has one. Yeah, it was very interesting. That was pre worry about global warming, or not global warming, but climate change. Yes, he was some sort of a weather scientist. And did you see then also the movie Don't Look Up? Don't Look Up is very contemporary. It's on Netflix right now, but it's the same idea that all this is going to happen, but don't look up. If you don't look up, you won't see the comet that's getting closer. Yeah, they went to Mexico to the embassy. That's right. Yeah, and everybody in the north, it was too late for them, but they could save the people in the south if they went south. Can you imagine evacuating an entire country through Texas? Like, that's a lot of people. They have a hard time just evacuating one area. Anyway, I've been ever since in the 60s when they Earth Day, and they talked about how the planet was gonna, that the emissions were causing this change and greenhouse gases. And Don't Look Up. Yeah, did you like it? Wasn't it interesting? It was such a play on what's happening right now. There's this whole bunch of people out there that's saying, nope, don't look up, there's no comet coming. Anyway, then they were going to mine the comet, but it smashed, it wiped out the planet. Just like this change that's happening now. So having negative 26 degree weather in the winter is normal. And it feels good to have something normal, doesn't it? Except that the new normal might mean that it will stay for like 3 months or something. Yeah, that was good. So I guess the sun might have risen, but I don't see it out there. I see the reflections of the other windows. This is an amazing room. I designed this room. I had them put that balcony out there. He was like, what? No. I said, yes, I want a balcony. I also wanted one out here. Don't think that's ever going to happen now. But it could. But I don't think that the roof is made sturdy enough to put it on. But it might be. Needs a lot more reinforcement. Have to have somebody look. But then they'd have to change this window. I don't want to have to change the window and do the wall over and all that stuff. It's just too much trouble. In 7 minutes, you'll be leaving for your cab. So you're in upstate New York, right? You're not in New York City. I know in New York people use cabs all the time because it's much easier to use a cab. When we were in Vancouver, I was with my how do I refer to it? My son's family. His wife was giving him, oh, you're not in New York City. That's right, you're in upstate New York, right? NCY, New York City. But we went in cabs everywhere, and I found it was very interesting. It was very easy. you're done somewhere, you just call a cab and they come right to the door and you get in and go right to your door and you don't have to worry about parking. Yes, Timmy, it was wonderful chatting with you, and stay warm, and I hope everything works out well at your doctor's appointment. Oh, they have medical cabs. Interesting. That's good. There's a local transportation service. I think it's on a certain day of the week you can use it and go to town. I should probably do something like that. That would be fun. It would be an adventure. However, it's COVID season. And now that the Omicron is everywhere. Yes, it's been nice getting to know you, Timmy. Have a good day. I'm sorry about the loss of your brother. That's difficult. I guess a lot of people are going through that now, eh? 800,000 people died in the United States from this COVID, or maybe it wasn't all from COVID, but it's all marked down as from COVID because they had COVID. But that's still a lot of people. 800,000 families have been affected. Yes, with Delta. Now, I heard that Omicron keeps you from getting Delta. Goodbye. Have a good day. Anyway, I would try and listen to the news to see something new, something different, and they're just saying the same thing. Hospitals are filling up, and actually now they are saying something different. There are places where there's now not enough paramedics, and so there have to some people have to wait an hour for the paramedics to arrive. If you're having a heart attack and waiting for a paramedic, that's not very good. But it seems like all those other illnesses that filled all the hospitals before are now not very important. This whole thing is just so out of hand, isn't it? So important to have your food storage. So important to have the things that you need on hand. And find other ways to do things. If you usually, that's one of the things I loved about the natives is they didn't have stores, so they didn't use toilet paper. They made it out of cedar bark. See, they made cedar bark shavings or something for diapers. Shredded. You had both? You had pneumonia and sepsis and Omicron with Delta? Oh my gosh, and you are alive to talk about it? Hi, Hannah. Welcome to the conversation. So Timmy is leaving. She's got to go to a doctor's appointment, and she's in New York, and we have Diane in Connecticut, and we have Susan in Wisconsin, and we were all talking about how cold it is. So Hannah, are you in the cold area? What's your temperature now? It's nice to know where people are from, gives you a good idea of, I'm glad you've got a lot of canned goods. Oh, in New Zealand, so it's summertime. Oh, and Timmy, wait a minute. Oh, Timmy, you have not living in there, but you have canned goods. Yes, it's so important. Your cupboards need to be full. You can store things that you have to cook, like beans and rice. It's easy to buy a big bag of rice, Big bag of rice costs you very little, but it will keep you alive. So with rice, you're going to need, whatever do you put on rice? Do you put on butter or curry powder or vegetables? So whatever it is that you like to eat on your rice, store that. So if you can buy a case, if it's something that not everybody's wanting, beans, rice with ramen, yes. But you should have vitamins. If you don't have room or you don't have enough vegetables stored, if you can grow Ah, soy sauce. Yes, so if that's what makes you happy, then you should have enough of it on hand that if the stores are out or if it's too dangerous to go to stores. Now, eggs can be stored and they don't need to be refrigerated. And if you dip them in oil so that they've got an oil covering, then they'll last much longer. In Germany, the eggs are stacked on pallets. So they don't have. Yes, well, and you can store butter in the freezer if you have a freezer. It's a good idea to have a freezer if you can. Of course, then things go bad when you have no power. But if you have no power in the winter, then you can put it outside, unless you live in an apartment building. But if you have a balcony, you can put things outside. Yes, salty is good. I can't eat rice, it hurts my joints. I really can't walk if I have rice. My knees are no good if I have rice. You know, if I just ate everything, I would be totally a cripple. I would be stuck in my chair doing nothing but eating and getting bigger every day. I would knit. Yes, indeed. So, also fresh vegetables you can sprout. You can sprout. I just sprouted all those pumpkins. Oh yes. Good night, Hannah. It's nice to talk to you. See you later. Oh, Uma. Hi, how are you? Nice to see you again. I haven't seen you for a long time, Uma. Goodbye, Timmy. Don't get cold. When you go outside in the winter, you have to have enough clothing along that if you have to walk, you're okay. 2 pairs of mittens, 2 hats. I like my long down coats. Isn't it fun when we talk to each other on here and we become a group and have a conversation? Oh, there's 12 people here now. With 9 thumbs up. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? It's like asking for your own compliments to say thumbs up and subscribe. Could you compliment me, please, so that everybody will know how wonderful I am? I never did put the water on it again, so I don't have any more tea to drink. So let's go do that. I'll let you look where we're going. So you can sprout. Let's look at this first and put that down here. You can sprout. Those 3 back in the corner are, and this is an artichoke. Here's some artichokes. I don't know how they got in here, but they are. But this is pumpkin seeds. So you just break it off near the bottom, and thank you. That was compliment me, please, right? And the leaves are very good. Thank you. So to sprout these, all I did was throw the pumpkin seeds. Actually, they were in a bowl, in this bowl, and water got in there, and they all sprouted. And I threw them up here. I didn't mean for them all to sprout. You know, I did keep one. It's in that pot over there. See? One pumpkin leaf. Pumpkin. I can have one pumpkin growing in here. Can hang it up and let it go everywhere. So I was going to show you this yesterday, but I didn't. So these had soil in them, and it was really packed down. It was full of weeds. They were all growing. And so I removed it. I pushed it over. First, I took out all the weeds and all the rocks. This was some stuff I got. Actually, this is all manure, I believe. And so there's another rock. I get it from a farmer, and this batch had a lot of rocks in it. Anyway, so I pushed it all over, and I put down some straw. I had a big chunk of straw here, and I kept picking it off. It was frozen. And so I put down a little handful of straw, and then I put a little dirt over it. And I put another handful of straw, and more dirt, and another handful of straw. And so I did that at all these beds. They've all got layers of straw. This was a bit of catmint. Catmint is good for tea. Also called catnip, I guess. So I could put that in my tea. And so here, I don't know if you saw it the other day, but you're still there. So these are the bottom reservoir of those, and I don't know where my son bought these, but I think they're so awesome. They have this area here where you can add the water. So here, now, there's no water in this at all. There's none in that. Boy, these are pretty low. Anyway, so I have to add water. But what you do, and this is the compost water. It's really gross. So I'm going to put water in here, and I'm going to put comfrey leaves. See, I planted comfrey outside. Oh, look, it's not clear through there anymore. So I made this area along the sledding hill. I made a little heaped up area. I dug a trench, heaped it all up, and I planted comfrey in it. So from the tree down to the bottom is comfrey all along there. And so I can push the snow out of the way if it's not all frozen together, and I can get the comfrey leaves. So I'll put comfrey leaves and nettle leaves in here. And then I will fill it with water, and that will all rot, and that will be so nutritious. It'll be like nutritious. And I'll put that in it too. I guess I should use some of that in each of these. I'll have to get a funnel, and I'll use a funnel in them. It has to be a small hole funnel. Anyway, and then I will bring in some more here. And then maybe I'll put another 2 here. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, I guess this is where they had these big sticks in there. Yes, I have those sticks still. So then in this part, you see these, you fill them with dirt, and that goes into this area. Let me put one on there so you can see it. Now, where the dent is here, you have to line it up with the dent at the bottom. And see how those things fit down into the holes? Oh wait, that's not the right one. It goes in this one. You see, so you've got this dent here in the water area. And so I'm going to put, I think you should put cardboard on and then straw. But the dirt has to go down in there so it'll wick up the water. You see the water comes in here and it gets into your dirt and it comes up. So this is all manure too, I guess. But I think it might be a lot of earth because there's so many stones in it. Anyway, so you can layer things. So the hugelkultur method, look at this. This happened when it was frozen outside. Hey, I have my glue. I could glue it so it'll never... Oh, look how far it went. I don't think they should be kept outside in the cold. Plastic deteriorates. So put layers, like paper bag, straw, leaves, soil, compost, manure, whatever I've got, which in that case was the manure earth and the straw. And now I'm going to be using whatever's out there in those buckets with straw. And maybe some paper bags. And I'm gonna fix this before I fill that. Anyway, so the purpose of telling you all this is that you can grow all of your own you can grow your vegetables in the house. But you can also, I'm trying to get the little bits of straw out of this, my little piece of tea material. So the purpose of telling you this is that you can grow stuff like this. Like this didn't need any soil. Like this is really not using the soil. I suppose some of them, they are in it, but anyway. But you can sprout in a jar, right? Like, you're supposed to rinse them every day. I have to eat these before they get 3 leaves. That one's getting 3 leaves, isn't it? I'll call Willem up and say, okay, dinner, let's eat upstairs. We'll stand here and eat these. Okay. Let's go put the tea on. Oh, I smell my dinner. Okay, so this one is nettle tea. Isn't it good to have it up here already? I had to get a new tea thing one day, and I thought I'll just get 2 of them. I'll get one upstairs and one downstairs. There we go. I'll wait and I'll use that to put this into there. I always like putting my stuff down on see, these are lotion. Have to not get them mixed up with the, I have my Dot so she can hear everything I'm saying. What's this one? Shower gel. See, the shower gel looks just like the other one, and the conditioner looks just like the lotion. So I need to have big letters on them. And I don't want the shower gel to get mixed up with shampoo. It's all very difficult. I like to use these as underneath my stuff. This is grandchildren's stuff over here. Need another for the rest of it. How exciting is this to watch, eh? Is this on? No. I thought it was on. There. My nettle leaves here. This should probably go closer and this should go farther. And this should probably go downstairs. Sometimes I bring it in here and have water. Hey, you know what? While we're doing this, I bet I could change this tap here. I'll show you this tap situation. So what happens is you turn it on and you pull it up and look what happens. So the way to fix it is you turn it. But how do you turn it? I forget I know what you do. You stick something in the bottom. You stick something in here. Too big, so you need something thinner. Guess I need to clean my bathroom. Hello, hello. That's not working. 2 hands. Hey, you want to see my curtain? So this is on an angle. So I put my curtain, I cut the curtain so that when you pull it down, and these things came with the curtain rod. So then it's got a flat bottom that just fits. Isn't that cool? Little paint on here. That's hot enough, I think. Don't have much room for water, eh? There we go. And then I can use this to strain it, but I'd have to strain it into something else, right? So that's nettle and lemongrass. It's pretty hot, but it's not boiling. I don't want it to boil because then it's just too hot. That didn't really work very well, but it worked well enough. Kind of messy. All right, back we go. So I think what I'll use to change that tap is a screwdriver. What do you think? Now, did I miss anything? Was there any conversation going on while I was gone? Let me just check. Yes, catnip is very good for tea. Hi, Paulina. Thank you. Uma. Paulina, you said where you were from the other day. Is it cold there? Catnip is good for tea. Yes, catnip is it's from the mint family. And they call it cat mint sometime. Yeah, I don't have a cat, but the cats don't like it unless it's bruised. even get some vegetables. It's important to have dried stuff on hand. Don't you find? Like dried beans, they take a lot of electricity or power to cook them. Rice is good, and quinoa, and um, noodles. I guess if you eat noodles and macaroni stuff, I don't usually eat any of that, but things that are quick to cook, unless in case you have to do it over a candle or something, you know. The thing with this Omicron, we saw it with the airlines having to cancel 4,000 flights because they were the pilots and stewardesses. You know, on airplanes, they weren't social distancing when I was coming back from Vancouver. Like we were, my daughter-in-law put us in business class to keep us all safe from the COVID at the Delta at the time, I think. And I was thinking about those stewardesses and stewards because they're right there with everybody and they're walking back and forth and when they say that you don't have to wear a mask when you eat, that means everybody has got their mask off at the same time. That is not very good. Anyway, so the pilots and all those people got sick. But you know, you think about that and you think about like the truck drivers getting sick. These people that we don't really think about and don't depend on, we don't really see them. They're behind the scenes. They go and deliver our groceries in the night and they are greeted by one or two people who help to unload the truck. You know, and then they go on their way and we see them on the highway and think, oh no, they're so big and their lights are in my eyes and they're in the way and now they're trying to pass me and oh no, there's so many of them. But yet we depend on them. I make a point everywhere I go, whenever I see someone cleaning, a janitor, I always stop and look them in the eye and say, thank you very much for cleaning it up here. It would be a horrible disaster if you didn't do your job. I'm so grateful for you. And it would. We don't, you know, you go into the bathrooms in airports or something and they're always clean. Whereas sometimes in the gas stations or something, they might have paper on the floor and, you know, be pretty rank because they don't have somebody that goes in and cleans them all the time. And I think it's very important that we realize that all these people behind the scenes that we don't appreciate, we don't acknowledge, those are the people that allow us to live this life of beauty and ease. The pilot and the truck driver and the janitor. And they all do their work behind the scenes. We hardly see them. The people that come in and clean the offices at night. All those people. Without them, it would be pretty messy out there, wouldn't it? And there wouldn't be food on the table. There wouldn't be, you know, all these people that do all these things for us. Even the factory workers that produce all this stuff. Like, I don't buy ready-made food, I don't think, except hummus. But I can make my own. Yeah, that's good. Good for you. Thank you. I think that they don't get thanked. They get overlooked. You know, oh, he's just the janitor. And all the kids in high school, do you remember? Like there was the janitor there, the janitor's, the custodian's office or something, and it was always this little hovel. I mean, he deserved an office with a view. He deserved the best office in the building. Really? You think about it. In heaven, he will have the best office in the building. The best view. Things on earth aren't fair. You know, and they don't get paid what they deserve. Like, they really deserve a lot of pay. They do like the garbage men, like, they are so amazing. I mean, they do that all the time. And if they didn't do it, I mean, you've seen it in your city or town or something when the garbage pickup was delayed and it gets pretty rank pretty quickly. And yet, it was one thing my parents did that was a really awesome thing. They had a refrigerator in the carport, and they kept it stocked with water bottles and Coke. And then when the garbage men came, they knew that that was for them. And they would get their stuff out of the fridge. And they stop and they'd have a drink or take it with them. And at Christmas, you'd always give them each $20 or something. And these people are so important in our lives. And yet, but during the pandemic, now we will see who's important in our lives. Pilots. They all got sick or had to quarantine. So there was 4,000 flights canceled right over Christmas. What a terrible way to spend Christmas. If 4,000 flights were canceled and there's 300 people on a flight, is that how many are on a flight? Well, maybe not all flights. At least 100, I would say. So 4,000. So that's 40,000 people that didn't get where they wanted to go for Christmas and spent their Christmas in a airport or in a hotel. Isn't that terrible? But you know, like the ports have filled up with ships out there that are full of containers. All the stuff that you ordered long ago is still out there because there's not enough truck drivers, there's not enough truck beds, you know, and they come to pick it up. Like the containers, there weren't enough containers. You can watch the documentaries on this stuff. They had, the containers were, they have, like, I think now Amazon is making its own containers. And they are also building ports. Because if you take an ocean liner, it can only go to the major ports. But you don't need to go to the major ports if you have a smaller vessel. So they're buying smaller vessels and they're building container boxes and shipping stuff to their own warehouses, which they're placing everywhere so that they have not too far to go when somebody orders something. It's very ingenious. Because now the containers are sitting in the ports, and like there were 14 container ships waiting to come to port in Vancouver. But if the port workers are sick, who's unloading them? If the truck drivers are sick, who's driving them away? But they also have been selling off containers for a long time. And so now, all these unloading fees plus the storage fees, which are pretty... Oops, sorry, wait a minute. Sorry, it's telling me low battery. I guess I should plug you up. I always stay on here too long. But it's a very nice thing to do with my day, to talk to you guys and let you guys talk to each other. So we have 8 people on here. Who are you? Uma, Timmy left, Diane, Susan, who else? So that's 4. We've got 8. But I think these numbers change continually, but we don't see it. They're coming and going. It may say 8, but it could be that people are on for 15 seconds and get off. And then the next one's on. They may look and say, oh, I'll watch it. Oh, hi, Kat. In the UK. Nice. What time is it there now? Let's see. It must be in the evening, right? You're 7 hours ahead of us. It's 9 here. 9 and 7. No. 12. That's 3. So it's 4 in the afternoon there. Nice. Thank you for speaking up, Kat. So we have, wait a minute. Who was in New Zealand? I forgot. I'll go back. Paulina. Right? Is that right? Paulina's here from New Zealand? Hannah. Oh, she went to bed. Yes, right. Anyway, it's really nice to come on here and talk to each other. And I miss out on some of the conversations, but at least you guys get to make friends with each other. Because it's a lonely life out there when we're all isolating and trying to keep from getting sick. However, I hear that getting Omicron is not as bad as the rest of COVID. It's like a bad flu. And if you're already vaccinated or something, it's even less. it's hard to know what the real facts are about everything, but people are not dying like they were before. So, although we're trying so hard not to catch it, I'm not sure that we really should be trying not to catch Omicron. But the trouble is that if you say, okay, well, I'll go ahead and catch Omicron like chickenpox, right? Just go and visit somebody with Omicron because then I'll get it and I'll get antibodies from it and it'll last for a while. But what if there's Delta? You're not social distancing and so you're getting Delta. I don't know. And isn't there a new one now? Forget the new one. But it could be that if you get Omicron, then you don't get Delta. But what did Timmy say? She had Delta and Omicron. Yes, both of my daughters have had it. 2:30 in the afternoon. I have a friend that's named Kat too. Yeah, it's not a fun disease, even if you don't go to the hospital. But if you do, like it's a lung disease. It's not mostly just like the flu. It really wrecks your lungs. And I'd hate to get long COVID. That's the worst. You know, it's right up there with Lyme disease from ticks. That's it. It gives you like fibromyalgia and no energy. Bad. Really bad. If you don't catch it in time. But Willem got Lyme disease and he got checked and got the doxycycline and he's fine. So that's good. So I guess it's not a good idea to go and catch it, just in case, because you might catch something that's not just Omicron. Getting tested is really hard, don't you find? I thought I had it. It took me a week to get tested. And I wondered if it would be gone by then. But it's supposed to show up on a test for 3 months, isn't it? So, but of course there are no tests. And why would I get a test now? Because I'm healthy. But it'd be interesting to know if I did have it, if I had a very mild case of it. I think I was just reacting to chocolate. I had a bit of chocolate and I had something else. And it causes me to get congested. Anything with milk in it. It wasn't milk chocolate. I think there was whey. I had butter, and the butter had whey in it. And so I got a cold. I don't think it gives me a cold. I think what it does is allows my body to grow any cold stuff. Yeah, the booster shot, I don't know. I'm going to get mine. Mine, I don't get it till the 20th. But I think you could probably call and get it the same day if there's enough places doing it. Oh, there's so many voices out there saying so many things, and it's easiest to just listen to one voice. If you start listening to a few voices, it's too confusing because somebody's not telling you the truth, or they don't all have the truth. They don't have the research. And some people analyze the research and they're coming up with different findings than the other people, and I don't know, but I do trust vaccines. I trust them. And I'm not sure how long they last, and it could be that your antibodies from getting it are better, but it could kill you. So, you know, but you keep hearing these people on television, people say, oh, don't bother, don't mask, don't social distance, it's okay, it's just like the flu. And they're catching it and dying, one after another. Anyway, it's all it's a big dilemma out there, and people have so many different opinions about it. Our bodies do have immunity, but our bodies don't have immunity to smallpox and to, like, the Spanish flu. There's a lot of things that came along that people should have been very healthy because they didn't have chemicals and crap like we have here. And they had lots of good vitamins in the vegetables, and everything was grown organically because they hadn't figured out how to spray it to kill the bugs and how to do all these other things to it. But they still died from it, so I think it's best to be. Yes, it's nice if everybody wears a mask, then you don't catch the flu or colds. It's amazing how much disease is transmitted by other people. I like wearing a mask. I think I'm just going to keep wearing a mask forever. I think that I don't want to get the flu every year. I don't want to get colds that are going around. I try never to go anywhere when I'm sick. Anyway, you guys can say something. I'll give you the floor. Ta-da! You have the floor. I shall drink my nettle tea. I end up eating the nettle leaves, which are good for you. I should have put them in my stew today. Willem dutifully dried all of the nettles and I think I did the nettles because you just hang them up. But nettles are the best thing out there, because they grow everywhere. I mean, they're organically grown. And you didn't have to weed them or plant them or cultivate them or tend them. All you have to do is cut them off with gloves on and hang them upside down. And when they dry, you put them in a paper bag and you scrunch them all until all the leaves are broken and fall off into the bag. And you pour it in a gallon jar. And you have yourself a lot of very good food. This is so nourishing. There's 10 times the vitamins in nettles as in spinach. This is all from a point of view of our nutrition. It's best to be healthy. I say coughing. That's from the nettle leaves in my throat. I'd like to try and put them in little bags. You have been watching my channel for years. Used to love my glass teepee with fairy lights and soaps. And I miss my teepee. My glass teepee. Wasn't it awesome? I had my Monet picture in there. I had tables in there. Hi, Ellen. I forgot you were here. There's an Ellen Brown locally who weaves, and I used to think you were her. Use one of those teaspoons for loose tea, the one that holds and clamps it. Yeah, that's a good one. I just found that the other day. It was in my dry drawer with all the mice, but I got rid of the mice. Caught 8 mice by putting 3 traps in that one drawer. 8 full-grown mice. I used to see mice out of the corner of my eye running across the corner of the living room. But now there's none. None. It's perfect. I caught them all. It's amazing. There were only 8 of them. They say if you see one, you've got 10. And they just come in by themselves. But they did take the opportunity to make a big nest in the dishwasher. So I think I should probably change that faucet. Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. That nettles save people from the Irish potato famine. Interesting. Yes, it's so good. I think potatoes are the best. I was talking yesterday about that. There's so many things you can do with them, and they're so cheap to buy. Even when the price is high and it's like $5 a bag, they're still really cheap. But down in the States, they usually have them in clear bags, plastic bags. You should have them in paper. So if you can transfer them to paper bags and roll them up so they're shut tightly and put them underneath the cupboard, down low or somewhere that's cooler. Ellen, where are you from? Did you tell us already? Are you from Wisconsin as well? There's so many of you out there. They grow nettles. You can find them near in barnyards. They're the things the cows won't eat, and I don't think they'll eat them. They also near water. You just have to keep your eye open. The tall weeds that grow very straight, and they used to use the stems for making fiber, for making rope. Oh, is that Wisconsin? Yes, you and Susan are both from Wisconsin, right? That's very cool. Yes, we have several people on here. If I was taking notes, I would, and I guess can you look up and see all the things that have been said already when you come here? Look at all these things that have been said. Wow, you guys are having great conversations. Oops. So if things to tell you. So if I stop this and start it again, all you have to do is refresh my channel to go to the next video. That way you're not all lost. And Susan was saying that her dad used to lay orange peels on the top of the wood stove. You have to make sure you do it when they're not going to catch fire. But that's a good way to make them smell good. Just checking what everybody has said. I guess I got most of them. Oh, and I decided that I was going to put labels on my shampoo and conditioner because you don't wear your glasses in the shower and you can't see. So if you put a big L for lotion and a big G for shower gel and a big S for shampoo and a big C for conditioner, I don't usually use all those things. I really like using my homemade soap the best. Homemade soap and apple cider vinegar. I used to use that and my hair was so soft and silky and you could get your fingers through it. I like to shower and then not brush it because then I have curly hair. Once I start brushing it, the bottom inch breaks off. Sometimes the bottom 4 inches break off. And I think that as you age, your body changes. See, I can feel it. It's thick to right there, and then it gets thinner here and really thin there. That's all from breaking. If you wet it, if you have curly hair, if you wet it and wind it around your finger, you'll get a nice ringlet, but you have to wet it. Well, so, is there anything else we should talk about? We've talked about a lot of things, haven't we? Gardening inside, growing sprouts. I should soak some stuff and make sprouts. Oh, you have that cinnamon sticks and cloves and orange peels. Why don't I do that? That's so simple. How do you mean you can set it in your settings to keep chat? Oh, interesting. I'll have to go to my settings and see what that shows me. To show the chat, right? Well, I'm running out of things to say. I think I'm going to get a screwdriver and stick that up in the faucet and turn it to unwind it. Oh, you also need plumber's tape, which I never got, but I think I may have some. Yeah, I bet it smells yummy at your house too, Ellen. Must be amazing. Cinnamon and cloves. I've been sticking cinnamon in my tea. Well, I've run out of things to say. I'm sorry, but when I go, I guess all 13 of you are going to be left with nothing. No conversation anymore. But I have to do something else. See, it's starting to be sunny out. You see the sun. I'm going to bring in those containers and I'm going to let them thaw. I guess I should put them down on plastic or something so that they don't. But this is an awesome floor. This floor is so good. You can spill stuff on it and it's perfect. It's really good. But it did start to lift in one place. So, how good is it really? Okay, so I'll stop and I'll start again. So you just have to refresh so you can be on in the next one, okay? I am tired of talking. Guess I've been talking since 8:30. 8 o'clock. It's now 9:30. Well, it's good to see that I run out of energy or run out of things to say after a while. You can see all the reflections on this thing, the sunlight reflections. Yes, getting outside is good. It's very good. Get outside, get some fresh air, go for a walk. I should probably just go for a walk first. But I find I don't do things if I go for a walk first. And it's early, so it'll be much colder. It's probably not negative 26 anymore. It's probably up to negative 20 or something. Maybe. Once the sun rises, everything changes. It starts to be a little bit breezy as the warm air rises and the cold air sinks. You get this immediate little breeze as soon as the sun comes. Yes, first things first. But then if I go outside, I stay outside and I wander and I sit and I write. You're welcome. Goodbye, everybody. It's been nice visiting with you. Thank you for all your input. All right, so I will probably video when I go outside, but I'll video it on my other camera. This camera will freeze its butt off, and the battery will die. Unless I take one of those little heating things. For $2, you can get these little heating for your hands, and you can put it against your phone, against the back of your phone. If you tie it on, then you can keep your battery from dying when you're outside. But then you have to use it up, and it's good for 10 hours. So, you got to really want to stay outside for a while. I want to go walk on Cindyland. My sister owns the property beside us. I would like to go over there, and I don't think it'll be icy. There's a very steep hill. I should probably go there. I should probably use snowshoes, but we don't have much snow anymore. All of my beautiful tracks around in circles and circles and circles on the deck, they all melted. So now I have these little bumps in between all my circles, all my footprints. That was fun. I should do that down at the grass hut. I should go down there and I should make a labyrinth. But the snow is not. I should cut my sedge. I should go out there in the woods and I should cut sedge grass and I should carry it into the teepee and I should thatch it. It is too cold outside. But if you're dressed for the weather, it's not too cold. And if I'm going to go out there anyway, I might as well do something while I'm out there. Otherwise, I'm just walking along and it's kind of empty. It's not like I'm really accomplishing anything. But did I tell you I saw a fisher? I saw a fisher. I walked along the stream the other day, and the fisher was right there on the other side of the stream, and I was just standing. I was filming already. I might have even been sitting. I think I was sitting in that red chair, and I was filming, and all of a sudden I saw a fisher on the other side of the stream, and I was very silent. It was a silent video. I was just listening, the sound of the wind and stuff, and the stream. It was just below the dam. And he's just the same as a mink, only bigger. And he's very long and skinny with a head, and his mouth was gray, and it was a line. I was very interested. Faces, it's just like a cat. A face looks just like a cat, only wild, really wild looking. And they are deadly. They will jump up and bite your jugular vein and kill you. They're horrible. They'll kill a bear. They'll always win any fight. But they don't want to deal with you. So if they hear you, they run away. All these shy animals that are deadly. But I got to film him for a few minutes. Usually I see a mink, and if I happen to have my camera out, he's there and gone. Oh, they're horrible. They're awful, but they're interesting. And they do keep the other population in check. However, that's probably why we have no rabbits, because we have a fisher. They eat the rabbits and the squirrels and the chipmunks and the cats. And since the cats eat the birds, I'm not partial to cats. I like dogs, but I don't like to have to take them out and deal with their going to the bathroom every day, several times a day. Not my idea of fun. But they would get you outside, but then they want to go and chase the deer, and they walk on all the footprints, so you can't really see what's been there. If you let them loose, they run away, ruin all the footprints everywhere, and go chasing the deer. And the deer won't come to the house. That's another thing I have to do. I have to feed the deer. I have to get some of that food out of the back of the car and have to take it outside and feed the deer. Negative 26 is pretty cold. Maybe I should feed them in the marsh woods because that's where they live. I should make a thing where I go every day down there and feed the deer in the marsh woods. I think that people that like to be inside most like cats, and people that like to be outside most like dogs. I don't know. What do you think? Because dogs are best outside. Cats are best inside where they can't eat the birds. But I'm allergic to them, so that's that. Okay, so I'm going to go. Remember, compliment me by thumbs upping. I love you guys. I love you so much. Thank you for being here with me. This is such an awesome thing to make a video and have people there speaking back and getting to know you all. You know, I only know you as you comment. And that's the only people I get to know are the ones that comment. And as soon as you comment, you become my friend. And then we get to know each other. So thank you so much. And I shall try and respond to your comments on the other videos that are past. Hugs and kisses to all. Give yourself a big hug, especially if you're alone. Hug yourself really tightly from me. Goodbye. I think I will go out and get those buckets first. Let them thaw through the day so I can get this stuff going. Okay, you heard it here last, and you can do